So I thought today I'm going to use Ecoline in Pink Beige. For the skin, and I will swap to a smaller brush. I'm going to use my Neptune Round in 4. It's a lovely, super soft brush, and just use tiny bit. Now remember that the FW acrylic ink is waterproof once it dries, so the good thing is you can go over it as well without worrying that you might end up getting your watercolors dirty by it. So I'm just adding a little bit underneath the eye and a little bit here, just to create like a natural looking eyeshadow, and a little bit under her nose. I don't want there to be too much shadow happening, but just a really kind of light one. So that's it. The other thing you can do is sometimes you can use your brush, if the watercolor hasn't settled and dried yet, you can just soften the edges a little. And keep in mind, this is a dye-based watercolor, so it does create a strong outline if it dries quickly. So if you wanted the soft edge, work with it immediately, because otherwise you lost that opportunity. You can fix it by adding a layer on top, but it's easier to work with it when it's still wet. So I will probably try and soften out this line here, which you can see is becoming a bit challenging. So I'll just need to wet it again, and then with a clean brush I'm going to move it out a little like that. So that's it for the face. I'm thinking what to do with the lips and the eyes. Okay, I want it to be completely dry, and then we'll come back and do the eyes and the lips. The great thing about this paper is that when you use your heat gun, it dries really quickly because it's such a thin paper. Okay, so in terms of her lips, I think I'm going to go for this beautiful red, which is a Scarlet by Luminance. And pencils on this paper work very, very beautifully, especially Luminance. They just glide and create this gorgeous, creamy kind of blend. There is also hardly any crumbling because it's a smooth paper, so it's basically just goes on the paper and it just looks solid. I love this color. If I wanted to create a bit of a outline around the mouth just to make it a bit darker and make the teeth pop even more, I would go with a darker color just around in a thin line and blend it through. I can do the same on the outer line of the lip. Just make to make the lips look less like a flat image but more curled and dimensional. Voluminous, I guess, is the word that we're looking for. You don't need much of it at all. It makes a big difference though. Okay, so that's that. For the eyes, as the most intense black, I'm going to use this color here. And actually, I will also get my pink white. So for the eyeliner, I'm just going to go in straight with my dark indigo, which has become my favorite. It's not a black, but it's like a black, just much better than a black. It's got a nice dimension to it. Look at that, isn't that already looking amazing? Gorgeous. There you go. Look at that big difference that it makes. And in terms of the actual eye, I would just add very, very light-handed addition of the color, and then with the pink white, just blend it through and out towards the iris and around it. And that will create a beautiful grey eye. So let me bring in for you to see up close. There we go. Doesn't she look so kind of high fashion and like, you know, fearless and powerful? And same thing on this side of the eye. Very light-handed. Like that. And then also just a little bit to curl it around the eye. Like that. Okay, so the eyes are finished. That's all finished. In terms of the hair, I'm not entirely sure. I might just leave it like that. And the flowers, I think I might use also some of this pencil throughout. So I've got a yellow here, which is a golden bismuth. Let's see how that would work. So that's going to go right into the center. And the pink. One part of me wants to use a light wash of watercolor because I want the face to pop and the flowers to be a little bit more kind of relaxed. Maybe I just do the same for the flowers. I'll use the same color here as I used for her skin tone, like that. That's it, so kind of like a nudie color. Just really lightly color in, and actually in between as well, where there's possibly her skin looking through, I'm also filling in that area, just these two. Otherwise it would look a bit weird if it just was left white. And that's it, so quite painterly, as you can see, like that. And some of these leaves as well. That is, I think, enough color there. But what to do with the hair? Maybe, why not? I haven't tried this. I don't know if I will like it, but I will certainly learn from this. And just add it a bit into her hair. Again, also not everywhere. Just in the darkest areas here, where you would assume the bun to gather the hair, at the bottom and the top, like so. Okay, I'm going to dry it and see if I want to add any like lost detail to this. Okay, as I just looked at her again, I realized her eyes are not matching. So what I'll try to do is I'll get a really sharp point to my pencil and I will try to match the eyes. Now what I find helps is just turning it this way. And that hopefully would get us closer to the other eye. This point needs to be a bit sharper. And that's it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be identical, but at least it's sort of matching now. Okay, let's see what else. I actually quite like this as it is, and what I may do, just pick a nude color. What's this one? Dark Flash 40%. Make sure it's nice and sharp, and just accentuate the centers of these flowers, because I don't want to take away on the nudeness of them, but you see how I'm making it pop just a little bit here. So it's still within that same color, and even on these flowers that are still closed, I'm going to do a similar thing just at the bottom of the petal, just to make it look less flat, because the dye-based watercolor tends to do that. Once it dries, it kind of has this kind of flat look, as opposed to a pigment-based watercolor product where you would still have these light and dark blossoms and blooms and all of that. So here you just need to work with it a little bit, I find, like so. Also, where the petal curls, you might just want to blend it out a little there. Again, this might be too much detail for you. You totally don't need to do that. So here where the petal curls, just before that, I'm adding and blending so that the curled part stays light, because that's where presumably the light is hitting it and creating that bit of highlight. Okay, so if I just bring it up to you, you can see it's still nude, but it has a little bit of something there. And I might actually do that right here for a bit of a shade. So if we compare both sides now, you can see it has more dimension, and that really is enough for my liking. Like, I don't have to go overboard with detail. And the same up here. Pencils and watercolor combo, absolutely love it. It was my 2020 discovery. So if you make a bit of a boo-boo here, I don't know if this paper will allow, I can use this sand eraser, and it tends to work quite well on certain papers. And even here, let's try it. First the sandy and then the regular side. watercolor doesn't seem to want to do that much, but it did remove the colored pencil there quite cleanly. So here she is, and I'd say she's ready. If you really wanted to, just for a little bit of something, you could add a bit of gold polka dots, just like that. Just at the darkest part. There we go. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will have fun using your stamp sets and creating these girl flowers, flower girls. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to create more content like this, and I would be very happy to do that. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.